Betty Boop is Broadway bound. It's Boop the Musical on Broadway this spring, starring newcomer Jasmine Amy Rogers in the title role. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Born and bred like some of us, or fresh off any Greyhound bus, it takes a hold. Suddenly it owns your heart, and God, it's good to be a part of it's the greatest city ever known.
So Jasmine, we sat on these very steps, maybe these steps. I think
they were these steps.
These
yeah.
steps? Okay, we sat on these steps like a year and a half ago.
Yes.
When I didn't know you and you were just cast as Betty Boop,
Yeah.
a big role. Great reviews. Now you're back headlining the Broadway musical. I mean, this must be have been a crazy couple of years for you.
It's so exciting. I mean, it's just, I've been waiting for it for my whole life, and I didn't know when it would come or what it would be, but it's like the most insane thing. So I'm so excited.
There's kind of an element of surprise. People don't really know what a Betty Boop
Right.
musical will be,
Yes.
which is what I love about it. It takes Betty Boop, it pulls her into modern day New York. That's kind of, I think, all people need to know. But what's cool is actually when you take a character like that people think they know little about her, right?
Yeah.
They know what she looks like.
Yes.
They know she's a fun girl. But you can really kind of build anything on top of
Right,
it.
yeah.
So what do you love about what's been built on top of Betty?
We've found a way to stay so true to who she originally is. Bob Martin, the book writer, did an amazing job pulling that 1930s speech and all of that right out of the cartoon and putting it on the page. But she gets to become a full-fledged human being, and that's like something we never saw, She exists in these clips, and I get to kind of explore the depths of her and the sides of her that we never saw before, and it's really, really exciting. She's experiencing the whole thing. She's experiencing things for the first time. We talk about it a lot. She's supposed to be a version that a lot of women can see in themselves. I really love that it's about her, and I think she does that in the cartoon as well, because there's debate of who she's based on, this and that. But what it really comes down to is it's a woman that they drew with pen and ink on paper, and everybody saw themselves in her. And that's the really special thing about her.
What's the rehearsal room like, especially with Jerry Mitchell? I've watched Jerry in rehearsal rooms before.
Yeah.
He knows how to make a hit show. He knows how to bring together beautiful families, I feel like,
Yes.
of Broadway families. What's it been like working with him and being back in the room with him?
It's so much fun. I was 19 the first time I worked with him, and now I'm 25. And we just have built this beautiful relationship. There's a lot of trust there, and there's a lot of love and respect in the room. So we just have so much fun.
Once it gets to ya, you won't ever. Once it gets to ya, you will never ever leave.
I love a modern musical. We don't get a lot of musicals that are set like
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it could be Times Square today.
Yeah.
It's sort of a fantasized version of New York today, right?
Yes.
And I think it's really fun to explore that. And it seems like you're making a great New York musical.
It is. And she also says that New York is more of a cartoon than her world because it's all of these buildings crammed onto a tiny little island
Yeah.
with people bursting out everywhere. Well, it does sound like a cartoon. And the
Yeah.
Fleischers actually used New York as the base of a lot of their cartoon imagery.
Yeah. So we're dealing with Jasmine Amy Rogers, your fantastic
Brilliant.
leading lady.
Brilliant.
And then Ainsley Melham.
Ainsley.
So talk about Ainsley.
I first saw Ainsley in Australia when I was doing Kinky Boots. He was playing Aladdin in Aladdin.
Yeah.
And he came in for this, auditioned for me. And he's basically Gene Kelly reincarnated.
Bow, 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 ba-da-da-da-da, bow, bow, ba-da, bow, bow. Big orchestration.
You get to do something so like old timey. It's almost like you grew up wanting to be like Gene Kelly, and then you were kind of like, well, it's 2025. How's that going to happen? And then it's like, oh, boop. It
Truly,
worked.
I think I've been looking for the project that allows me to do that. I mean, I grew up watching Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and Donald O'Connor and all of these amazing dancers, and that's where I get my influence as a performer, as an actor, as a dancer. So even though Dwayne, in the context of this show, lives in 2025, he has this sort of like nostalgia, old charm about him, which I really like to tap into.
So you exhausted doing
Yeah.
the show? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that's Broadway, you know. We sort of like operate from that level of exhaustion, and we know what that is, and we come in and we deliver 110 regardless.
As an actor who grew up dreaming of doing this, what is it like to actually, I mean, do you like pinch yourself sometimes and be like, oh, I'm part of this. This is like, there's just so much energy on the streets.
I just started pinching myself. I was talking last night about this. I was saying, I had the great pleasure of doing Waitress on Broadway and Chicago on Broadway, but I was like the 80th person, and in Chicago, like the 8,000th person to play that role. This show we're building from the ground up. I didn't know it. No one knew it.
Right.
So I haven't had that moment until just recently where it's like, I'm creating a role on Broadway.
Right.
And now I'm starting to freak out all over again.
You have had a beautiful career in the New York theater. There's musicals in rehearsal on every floor of this building.
I know.
It's so crazy. Like, do you feel the energy? Do you still get excited about being a part of all this?
Oh, yes, and ramping it up. I mean, it's like one day you're kind of hanging out, the next day you're running 3 marathons. I mean, that's what it feels like, you know, ramping up for that 8 show a week, you know, and it's a Jerry Mitchell musical.
He knows how to do it.
He does, and no rest for the weary.
Is he keeping you on your...
Yes, I think he thinks I'm as young as his ensemble. Somebody better let him know.
You've been in this biz for a long time. You've been in a lot of shows, but there's all these new kids. Angelica over there, she just got here.
I know, the kid's 17 years old. For God's sake. For God's sake. I was watching Chorus Line in fear, saying, I can't do that. I can't do that. I've never been to the ballet. and this kid's on Broadway, 2 million followers. I'm like, how does TikTok work? My phone is on silent. So it's like so stupid. But no, it's fun, it's great. It's a miracle. I'll be honest with you, if you're in this business and you're working, you are already so freaking lucky. But I feel so lucky, and don't hate me, blessed to be able to be in this show with these amazing, amazing, amazing people.
What's it been like developing the show? I know you did it in Chicago. Like, you've been involved for a couple of years now.
Yes.
What's it like to be with the show and get to watch somebody like Jerry Mitchell pull it together, and David Foster is writing songs? I mean, what is this like?
It's incredible, and it's crazy because you're in the room. They're making changes while they're like we're in the scene, we're doing stuff. They're like, write that down, and I'm like, oh my God. The next day, it's like they've written an entirely new song. It's insane.
She knocks me out with all her quirks and quips. What's this about? She nuzzles and then she nips. She loves jazz as much as I do. That's part of the appeal, but she's not real.
It's a real burst of energy and joy, and I mean, I reacted to it immediately. When a lot of times it's hard to take a score in on one listen, and I felt like I was just able to really take in the songs right away, which is really unusual.
Yeah. I mean, it does have that sort of 1930s, 40s, a little bit of that flair, but I'm not an expert in that. By the time you get to the end of the song, it's like a real sort of, I don't want to say gospel because that's probably the wrong word, but it's sort of it leaves that feel and it gets into the... Ow! I don't know what that is, but it's, maybe a little bit timeless.
This is your spot during rehearsals.
Right.
You have your script. You take notes while you're watching
Right.
it. What do you love about this part of the process?
It's my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. This is the best part of it. It's this part of it. It's making it.
Yeah.
It's making it from nothing. That's, sort of takes over your life.
So what do you love about what's been created here?
I love this show. First of all, Broadway, get ready for the most incredible score. The kind of score they don't write anymore because it's timeless.
But the lady lied, she lied to me. I have my pride, and hey, she lied to me.
You've created a lot of Broadway musicals. Boop is a new Broadway musical. What do you think what is this going to be on the landscape? You know what I mean? Like, and I love a title like this because I don't think anyone knows what it is.
Yeah, we're trying to one of the challenges is to communicate to the, ticket buyer what Boop is.
Yeah.
It's a big singing, dancing, beautifully, like Jerry Mitchell, lots of color, lots of life, lots of comedy, family show. And it is very much a family show. It's a show that I would be happy to take, my child to, although he's 18 now, but he would still enjoy it. But I mean, it's a good show for kids. It's a good show for kids and parents to sort of discuss you know, the nature of human interaction and the nature of love and everything like that. But it's funny.
Rain on the river, swish and a splash.
Do you feel pressure? Because there is a very tight timeline, right?
Yes.
People might see you playing this role years from now.
Yeah.
But right now is the time that you're actually working on it every day.
Right.
And so it is a really does period of
is.
time. And does it feel with pressure?
A little, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we plan to knock out the rest of the show, honestly, maybe today. And once we start running, I'm not afraid. I think it's in there and it's only going to get better because I already feel like I have, which is really exciting for me. Because I don't always feel that way, but I feel like I really have her base. And so I get to build on that, and that's really exciting.
Once he gets to you, you won't ever. Once he gets to you, nice and sharp. One. Pop. Boom. There you go. Good.
She was really on my back. Sorry.
Good. We got a few notes. We'll do them later. Take a break, 5 minutes, and come back and we'll do She Knocks Me Out.